I was starting to listen to 32 Thoughts on my way home, and I want to double check this. Oh, no, it was the Jeff Merrick show. You you know what's really neat is hold on, the Blackhawks don't have their first this year.
No, they don't. That's
Seth Jones. I
that's
think you mentioned it as well a couple weeks ago.
yes. It's only
Um,
top two protected.
that's horrible. That's not good. And they're like eighth or ninth. Can you imagine? They win the lottery. Oh no, because then no, they keep the pick then.
They keep it. Yeah,
Oh no, the Black. Imagine the discourse if the Blackhawks won the lottery. I'd be so mad.
it'd be so NHL though, right? Like it's
But
just
no,
like
because
let's reward the guys that we have. Like it'd be they spin it in a way that we have to reward the guys that we forgive.
okay, all right. So just shifting gears to the Blackhawks. It's not Teresa Resch. It's not Peter Chiarelli, unfortunately. It's not the guy from the Cubs. The new GM is Kyle Davidson, the interim, the guy who was already there.
Spoiler
Um,
alert.
yeah. So I was listening to Mark Lazarus, right? And he was kind of saying that it looks like this was Danny Warts' guy from the start. It was he or kind of had the idea of wanted Kyle Davidson. He just had to convince everyone else, people like Jamie Faulkner. Um, Apparently he hasn't put a foot wrong so far in Chicago. But then I asked, what has he done? I think they made a move. Were they the ones who traded Lafferty, or is that who did Pittsburgh get Lafferty or trade him to?
Oh yes, that was for Alex Nylander.
Alex Nylander, yes. So beside that, like, what else has he done? Because it sounds like Fleury's not going to get traded because he doesn't want to. It's just kind of disappointing that, we were all expecting a kind of fresh hire, someone outside the box, and they just went with the guy they have in house. He could do a great job, but it's just the stank with the Blackhawks, especially again after Rocky Warts did.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure from the start they always said he'd get a fair shot, but it's just disappointing from the outside.
Yeah, I agree with that because we mentioned it last episode where I said I felt like they were kind of trolling us saying, hey, you want transparency? We're going to even update you on all the guys that we're interviewing as potential candidates. Like they even get their own infographics, even though they're not getting hired. And for me, it just kind of felt, nope, jokes. That's not going to happen. We're just actually going to go with the guy we had in the first place. So thanks for that.
And apparently they're calling it that it is a rebuild. Is that right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I read that. Like I heard that in 32 Thoughts that he indicated that it is going to be a rebuild, which is kind of hilarious to me because this is after the gigantic trades and the gigantic contracts that kind of happened. And they go back to what I actually thought Stan Bowman was doing an okay job with was actually trying to get young assets. And then the Seth Jones trade happens.
I just remember that there is a 32 Thoughts out, and I haven't read it yet because I've been busy all day. I completely forgot that it came out today. That's very, very annoying.
That's okay.
Was there
Sorry if
anything about
I
Montreal?
spoiled that.
No, that's all right. That's fine. We need to talk about it. Was there anything in Montreal about Montreal or?
I cannot remember.
Then you know what? It'll be. You just stay on the Blackhawks though.
Yeah. But other than that, like I admit Kyle Davidson said something right where he said we actually need a rebuild here. But I think like it's just going to be a lot worse now because wherever they finish, whatever Adam Boquist, Cole Sillinger becomes, whatever that first round pick becomes, everyone's going to look towards this team now that it's not going to be growing pains. It's just going to be a bunch of older guys, a bunch of guys who are not playing towards their contracts, underperforming, and a team not winning. And it's going to be weird for them to say we're doing a rebuild because I thought about it that it could be like the LA Kings situation here, like on the fly that we keep the gigantic contracts as we kind of have to, but I don't know, like what is Jonathan Taves now, like in terms of a player? Like I know that he's struggled with a few injuries, he struggled with a lot, and I'm just unsure that would you be able to build the team you want to build in the next few years, keeping Kane and Taves because their contracts are ending soon.
Yeah, their UFAs next year. Well, he's got 19 points in 43 games played. I think it's safe to say Jonathan Taves is kind of cooked, I don't feel bad saying that because I think him and Kane have just sort of tarnished their reputations this season with their comments. Patrick Kane's still point per game this year. You would have to retain, but I think at this point, there's no point building around them anymore. They're Patrick Kane is 33. Where has the time gone? And Jonathan Taves is also 33. So, and people will pay for them. Even if you pay for Kane's skill and experience and people like Taves' leadership, even though, again, debatable at this point. But you could definitely it's weird they have 3 third-round picks. It's very strange. I think that third from Edmonton becomes a second, depending on if the Oilers make it to the finals and ice time for Duncan Keith. But
it's like in the top 4.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's very, very weird. Imagine they just tell him to keep playing him. But besides that, like if we look at just assets they could have towards the end of this year, Kevin Lankinen's up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know because if Marc-Andre Fleury leaves, because I don't see him retiring because he's chasing Waugh for second wins, right?
Yeah.
You look at Wayne. I was about to say Andrew Shaw, but no, that's not gonna. No, he's retired. Brandon Hagel's been talked about a lot because he's got the extra year in this contract of an affordable $1.5 million. I'm just trying to look. Sam Lafferty's up this year. Kubalik's an RFA.
Remember him? Oh my gosh! Remember when he used to be a 30-goal scorer? Or 30, yeah.
Was that like how many? I'm gonna check his numbers, but that was like 1 year.
Yeah, that was when he was nominated with the Calder.
Yeah, who
with
was
it? No, Jack Hughes didn't. No, not Jack Hughes. Quinn Hughes.
Did he win the Calder, or was it McCarr? That's a really good question.
I think it was Cale Makar. Yeah, Cale Makar.
Calder winners. I'd be pretty upset if it was. Remember that debate of who's better, and now it's very clearly Makar?
Yeah.
I was right. I was right about it the whole time. It was Cale Makar.
Oh, okay.
Good for him.
Just winning everything.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good player. Shout out to former Calder winner Jeff Skinner, who is good.
Yes.
Great year. He's having a really good year.
Yes, I sent it to you guys that he has as many points as McDavid in 2022.
Yeah, that's man. I hate the conversation about everyone's. I'm not over the fact that everyone's crowned Matthews the best player in the world, and McDavid's just there like, excuse me. I'm so mad about that. I'm not saying he's nothing like. No, we're not going to talk about Craig Button. We're not going to talk because we're not.
Yeah.
But
in terms of the Blackhawks too, the other names I've been thinking about too is which is crazy to me is Alex DeBrincat's been out there, and I don't know why you would trade a guy like that who actually is a likable guy on the Blackhawks right now.
A decent person.
Yes, playing very well. What's funny is that I read a Hockey News article, I read The Athletic, I read everywhere in terms of trade value on Dylan Strome, and the one word that always came up was a mystery. What is Dylan Strome? And then everything's like he's a mystery.
He was on the fourth line for a bit, and it's like, well, how does that help anyone? How long till he ends up in Edmonton?
Oh,
I'm convinced that's going to happen.
I was hoping for the guy. Like, Jacob Chaika didn't kind of threw him under the bus when they traded him.
He was awful, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he had that really good year when he went to Chicago, and then I don't know what happened after that. So,
good question.
Maybe new scenery for him, but hoping the best for him. Like, I still can't believe, like, 3rd overall. Still a young guy, but that's a guy to get it. Maybe he'll be like Ryan. He'll be like his brother, where he'll get better in the later years.
Yeah, Ryan Strome was quietly fixed his career, didn't he? And I still think they probably want a better centerman in New York, but you want Christian Dvorak? You want Christian Dvorak?